guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. My name is Heather. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids, elementary and high school age. Today I'm going to be chatting all about how we implement a slow start in our homeschool year. So let's get started. Okay guys, so I need to preface this video by saying that we are year-round homeschoolers, but this will apply to any homeschool. You do not have to be year-round homeschoolers. You can start traditionally in September, like the public schools, or whenever. This slow start works for everybody. And we just happen to start quite a bit earlier. And the reason is because we take a big chunk of time off from Thanksgiving to New Year's every year. And so we just start very, very early in the middle of July most of the time. So what is a slow start? A slow start essentially is just easing into your homeschool year. It means that you are not starting with all of your subjects on the first day or the first week even. And I know that that sounds really crazy, that you wouldn't just start everything on day one, but you do not have to. And the reason that I say you don't have to is because I feel like a lot of times we need permission from somebody else because we don't feel like we can actively make that decision because when in public school, you just start school. But even in public school, they are not starting with all of the subjects right into head down work. Even in high school, they take a little bit of time to kind of familiarize themselves with what is going to be taught for the coming year. And so I always encourage a slow start. And what that means in our family is that we start with just a couple of subjects. So for my youngest, we are going to be starting just with science this year and probably a little bit of math. We tend to do a science intensive summer for my elementary age kids. I actually kind of forgot about that when Lucy was in kindergarten and first grade and remembered in second grade and have continued. She's going into fourth grade this year. And so what that means is that we are doing the bulk of her science resources for the entire year during the summer months. Part of that is because elementary science is not super in depth. It is more just, kind of understanding nature and doing some fun unit studies and that kind of stuff. I do have a whole video talking about our summer homeschool plans for science for Lucy. I will leave that linked in the description box so that you can see it. Spoiler, we are using a unit study from the Waldock Way, the survival unit study, which uses the Bear Grylls books as kind of the base for the unit study. I'm really excited about starting that with her, and she's really excited as well. The math is something that we tend to roll when I have elementary age kids. We use Singapore Primary US Edition for kindergarten through 6th grade. And so when you finish a book, you kind of take a couple of weeks off and then you start the next book. And that's just how we've always done it. We do have a little bit of book 3B to finish up before she starts 4A. I think maybe like 10 lessons that she has to finish. So we're going to continue working on that. 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, learning all of those math facts, doing the long division, the fractions, multiplication, long multiplication, all of that kind of stuff. It takes some time. So we slow down quite a bit in these years, usually to make sure that everybody is on the same page and learning everything. So that's kind of what Lucy will continue to do right through September. For my older 2 kids, we will be starting with English and math for them. And then we will have a few weeks of that, and then we'll add in another subject. And then we'll have a few weeks of that. And then by the time we get to September, when all of the kids are in public school, we will be back to all of our resources. And the reason that we do this is partly because we're homeschooling in the summer. There are still a lot of fun things that we can be doing, but part of it is also we don't need to take as much time to do a lot of the things like public schools do. They have a full 8-hour day or 7-hour day, and we can be a little bit less. My high schoolers, depends on how fast they're working, how long their day is. But just taking some time to ease into the school year helps everybody to get on the same page. You kind of figure out, what is the flow going to look like for our week? What are the chores? How are we going to manage passion projects and fun activities and extracurricular stuff with the work that we have to complete? And so kind of easing into it helps you to get a handle on everything. Now, we've done this in a bunch of different ways. This year, we're starting with science and math for Lucy and English and math for Jack and Emma. But in years past, we have started with foreign language and science for Emma. When she was using BJU Press for Spanish, she's finished through Spanish 3, and that's where their program ends. So she's not continuing with Spanish this year. And those programs have 180 days of lessons, like full, hour plus lessons that you have to get through with the work and stuff. So starting early was needed for those particular subjects so that my kids could still take time off between Thanksgiving and New Year's. And so you kind of have to look at all of your resources. Not all of them are set up for 180 days. There's a wide range for a homeschool curriculum. Some full year programs may only have 120 lessons. Some math programs may have less or more. And you just kind of have to figure out how many lessons you need to do each week in order to end when you want to end. So we just kind of roll things. And this gives my kids the opportunity to just ease into school. They're not having to be head down all the time. But part of it is also we have just created this culture of always learning in our home. And so when we start a new homeschool year, it's not necessarily like starting a new homeschool year. And I think I talked about this a little bit in our first day of homeschool traditions video. I will leave that linked in the description box if you want to go see it. We used to do a lot of first day of homeschool traditions when my older two were, really, really young, because I was thinking back to school. I was thinking all of the fun things. We didn't start as early back then as we do now, but now we start a lot earlier, and we just are kind of always rolling forward. We're always looking to make progress. With my older kids, a lot of that is passion project related, so they're constantly working on the things that they find a lot of value in. For Jack, it's working on his animated series, and for Emma, it is working on her novel, as well as a couple of screenplays that she is writing. And so they are still doing school activities, even though they do not view it as school activities, pretty much every day. And so when I just start adding new resources into the mix, it doesn't really faze them, but they do need to have an understanding of when they're going to fit in their other things that they find value in. And so when we take the time to just ease into things, it makes our lives easier. It's just a little bit more fun to do it that way. And then it also builds in a little bit of margin at the start of our year. If there's an opportunity for a field trip, or if there's an opportunity to get together with friends that are in public school, or if there is an opportunity for my husband to take a day off, we can adjust things very easily instead of, oh my gosh, we have 5 subjects that we have to get through today, so we cannot take any time. Or if you do take time, you feel like you're already behind. And spoiler, there is no behind in homeschool. You get to make your own rules as to what you are doing when, obviously within your state's guidelines, but you do start to feel, oh my gosh, we are falling behind, and you don't want to feel that way. So if you take the time to kind of ease into your subjects, you will feel better. It's not just about the kids getting used to the new resources. It's also about you getting used to the new resources. Even if you're using resources like I do that you have used in the past, you're teaching a new student. And so that is going to be a different dynamic, and you kind of have to feel it out to see how things are going to go. And you may need to adjust things, which means if you are starting with just a couple of subjects or just a one project or something like that, you can see how it goes and you can make little adjustments on the way. And then when you add a new subject, you can do the same thing because you've already kind of solidified what works for the previous subject. And so that is why I always advocate for a slow start. And again, it does not matter if your slow start is September or if it is in July or whenever it is okay to start slow. It is better to start slow and ease into things and really feel comfortable with how things are going rather than jumping right in and feeling all of that pressure and concern about not getting enough done or not being as efficient with your time as you want to, or the kids don't like the resources, or there are tiers, which can happen especially around math. And so, you just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page, and the slow start really helps with that. Now, what are some other ways that you can do a slow start? You can start with one subject, you can start with a project, you could do some fun first couple of week of school activities, things that we like to do sometimes are vision boards. We typically do vision boards in January. This year we did not do vision boards in January because it was a little chaotic. Everybody was sick after the holidays, so we did not end up doing the vision boards at the beginning of January. So that is something that we're going to work on, and that just gives you a little bit more insight into things that your kids enjoy doing and are looking forward to, so that you can incorporate those into your homeschool days, into your homeschool year. It's just kind of a fun way to do things. Plus, you kind of understand if there are going to be needs that pop up that you did not foresee. You can plan a lot, but once you start the resources, you may understand that there needs to be something else or something different, and it's better to only have to focus on one or two subjects at a time rather than all of the subjects, because sometimes if you're looking at everything, you're not entirely sure which particular part of a particular subject is the struggle area because it all seems overwhelming. So take your time to ease into your homeschool year. Don't stress about not starting all of the things at once. That is my most important piece of advice that I always want to stress to people. It is okay to have margin in your days and to start slow. You do not have to jump in with both feet. Now, if you want to, that is also okay. Last year, we did jump in to pretty much all of our subjects right in the middle of July, and we just went for it. And that was totally okay. And it worked for the most part. We had a system, we were trying to get things done, we're trying to be very efficient with our time because we had some other fall activities that we needed to also work on and we're out of the house for. So, look at the time that you have and don't be afraid to slow down a little bit. You can always catch up, and I always feel like in the dark winter months, January, February, March, those are really great months to catch up on any book work that you feel like you missed out on in the nicer summer and fall months. So that is kind of a peek into our slow start. We have started school. I am really excited about the year ahead. There are a lot of fun things that we have planned. I'm still unsure what the fall will bring. It seems like there is a surprise every fall for us, mainly in the form of some sort of public school activity that I had not planned on. We will see. We will see how it goes, but I'm really looking forward to this new school year. I hope that you are as well. If you have questions about implementing a slow start, or you want to bounce ideas off of somebody with the particular resources that you're using, please reach out to me. My contact form is in the description box. It's always in the description box, or you can leave a comment and I would love to chat about it with you. Or if you want more help and encouragement, you can come over and check out my membership community. That is also always linked in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and I will see you in the next one. Thanks guys. Bye.